Well, hello, families. Thank you for being with us today. I'm going to kind of give you all a few seconds to jump into the room and get logged in. Um, we are experiencing a few technical difficulties today, so we are going to do things a little differently until we kind of get our technology working. So, as you all are coming in, I want you to know that we are super excited that you're here. This is a part of our Family U Chat series, and we are talking to the Bursar twice a month, every month during this semester, because we know that that is some of the information that you all need the most, and some of the questions that we get most often. And so, we wanted to make sure that you got the information that you needed. And so, today I am joined again by our Bursar, Aaron Shadle. And right now, Aaron is going to take some questions. And so if you will, we're going to start off with questions, and then if we're able, we're going to show you a presentation a little bit later. But our first, we're going to allow you to use the Q&A feature to ask your questions. And so some of them we're going to answer aloud, and then others of them we may type an answer. But if you have questions about your bill, anything else, anything related to that, that is what we're here to do and answer. But I'm first going to have Erin introduce herself so that she can kind of tell you a little bit about like appropriate things to ask her, things that she's going to talk about.
So good evening, everyone. You can't see me quite yet. I'm working on this as quickly as I possibly can. I am the one having the technical difficulties. But my name is Erin Shadle, and I'm joining you from the Bursar's office. My colleague Barbara Noel is also on the call with me to help answer your questions. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak with you this evening. And as soon as I can get my technology working, you'll see my face and hopefully the presentation that we have prepared for you. But in the meantime, I certainly don't want to waste your time this evening. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So the first question, Erin, was about how do folks pay using their 529 account and sending that directly to UMass.
So with the 529 plan, a 529 plan will allow you to pay the university directly, but you have to initiate the payment with the 529 plan. So you will give them a call. So let's just say for purposes of illustration, the 529 plan that you work with is Fidelity. So you would contact Fidelity and initiate the transfer of funds from Fidelity to the University of Massachusetts. Different companies require different information. They may require a copy of the student bill, which you can get, you or your student can get on Spire. They may just require the university's address. Whatever the case may be, you would start with them and they will guide you on the process of how to send money directly to the university.
Great. Our next question asks, what happens if an overpayment is made?
So just one second, here I come. I think I'm here now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So the question is overpayment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if an account is overpaid in general by financial aid or payments, cash, check, or credit card, which are made online, then we will issue a refund, but the refund goes to the student. This is very important to be aware of, that the refund will not go back to the parent. It will go directly to the student. The student, we encourage students to sign up for what we refer to as Excess Express, which allows the student to deposit money into any bank account that they enter. A hint here for parents who may be paying the bill: if you're expecting the refund to come back directly to you, you can have your student sign up using your checking account or savings account. It has to be on a U.S. bank. You'll be asked for the routing and account number. So when your student signs up for Excess Express, it can be your bank account that the money gets deposited back into.
So the other question was, can you also kind of talk about similarly, but what if there's an underpayment?
Sure. So if there's an underpayment, the university will and has already for fall 2023 put a hold on the student account. And what that means is any student who has not paid their full balance for fall 2023 now has a registration hold on their account. The registration hold will prevent registration for spring semester. That registration period begins November 6th. The registration will also prevent grades from being released for the fall semester. So if there is an underpayment on the bill, you're going to want to make arrangements to pay that off by the end of the semester to avoid any hold on grades. You will want to pay it off before November 6th to avoid any delay in registration. And late fees have already been added. We add late fees to the account once per year for students who have not paid their balance in full. So if you do see, if you do look at your account, you see you have a late fee and or a hold, that's because the bill was not paid in full by the due date of October 10th. And Jonathan, I was able to get into my files.
Okay, great. So then I'm going to stop asking questions and Aaron's going to show you.
Sure. So let me just pull this up. Of course, now I can't. Here we go. And again, I thank you so much for your patience as I try to navigate the, the technical aspects of this. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so it's still opening at the moment. Do you have another question just while my PowerPoint is opening?
Yeah. So what if the student did not sign up for Express?
Excess Express?
Yes.
Yep. So if a student has not signed up for Excess Express, we will not refund them. So you want to make sure that they do that. If they don't, we won't send the refund automatically. They will have to either request a paper check or wait until the end of the semester in order to have that refund happen. So if your student did not sign up for Excess Express and you have a credit, they have a credit balance on their account, there's still time to do that. And we will refund within 7 to 10 days from the time that you enroll in Excess Express. Okay. Can you see me?
Yep. It looks great.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Again, thank you all on this call for your patience with me as I navigated the technology issues I was having. So we want to welcome you as, you know, as you already know, to this chat. We're going to try to do this twice a month just to get you some information pertinent and timely on student billing, the aspects of student billing. So tonight we're going to go over fall 2023 bills. Questions like, I'm on a payment plan. Why do I have a bill? Holds and late fees, which I just touched on. Spring 2024 registration, which starts November 6th. We're going to touch on spring 2024 bills, which are coming before you know it. And then 1098T tax statements. It may be a little early to talk about this, but I want to give you a heads up at the same time. So fall 2023 bills are now overdue, but I don't want anyone on this call or anyone associated with the university to panic. We call them overdue because the due date was October 10th. That's it. It's not meant to be shameful or anything like that. You just, now's the time to get your financial aspects in order with regard to the tuition bill. We did send finalized bills. They were sent in September and they were due October 10th. So that's why we consider the bills now overdue. We have had some calls in recent days, and so I just want to touch on a few of them. One is, my student is missing their loans. So for any new parents on the call, we see this a lot with our entering class. If a student has not completed the paperwork necessary for them to accept the federal direct subsidized or unsubsidized loan, then what happens is on the bill that goes out in September and then is due on October 10th, those loans are not there. The loans will drop off if the student has not filled out the appropriate paperwork. And so we're getting a lot of calls from parents who say, I signed up for the payment plan and I was all set, and now you're telling me I have a bill. So if your student was expecting to take or to accept their offer of federal student loans, please check their account to see if the loans are there. If the loans have dropped off and you do not see a loan on your student account that you expected, please have your student contact our financial aid office directly. They can also stop in and see them in the Whitmore Administration Building, and the loans can be reinstated. So the good news is that this is a temporary problem that has a fix, but I just want you to be aware that we are getting calls like this. So if you are in that situation, that's what you need to do. The other calls we're getting is, I'm on the payment plan. Why am I getting a bill? So the university, what we do is we credit your account with the full amount of installment payments that you plan to make. So for illustrative purposes, I'm going to say you have a $5,000 payment plan. If you've paid $3,000, so you've paid in August, September, and October, your bill is going to show the $3,000 of payments you already made. It's also going to show the $2,000 in payments that we're still expecting. That will net the balance to zero if your payment plan covered your entire bill, meaning that you would see zero as the balance due. However, if a family has under budgeted, so their payment plan is not enough to cover their bill in full, you will get a bill from us. Students and families who are already on a payment plan avoid the late fee, but they do have the registration hold on. And the registration hold is simply to bring your attention to the fact that we have an unresolved balance that needs to be resolved. There are two ways to resolve it. You can make a one-time payment for the amount that's underpaid, or you can increase the remaining payments that are scheduled for your payment plan installments to cover that additional balance. If you do not know how to adjust your payment plan, you can give the Bursar's office a call and we'll be happy to do it for you or walk you through on how to do it. The other call we're getting is, I'm waiting on a scholarship. The scholarship hasn't come in yet. So there are two types of scholarships. Well, actually, that is incorrect. There are many types of scholarships, but for purposes of this discussion, we're going to talk about two types. One scholarship will indicate that they will send the money after they receive the student's grades for the semester. If that is the case, and you are waiting for a scholarship that has that caveat to it, that scholarship is not for fall, it's actually for spring. So any scholarship that is dependent on the grades for a semester will be applied to the next semester after grades have been released. So if you are waiting on a scholarship that says that they require the grades for your students, that scholarship will not be in time to pay the bill. So you will need to make that payment for fall and look forward to the scholarship for spring. The other type of scholarship is just, you received an award letter, your student received an award letter or notification that they were receiving a scholarship. And it was going to be sent directly to the university. If that is the case, please send us a copy of the award letter. What we will do is credit your account with a temporary credit, which will satisfy your balance while we wait for the money to be received from the scholarship. We're all very busy. You know, everybody on this call is very busy. Certainly the scholarship donor companies are busy as well. And so sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the actual money to transfer. So we will credit your student account with any award that we know is on the way. We're also getting calls, can I pay an installment? So if you have not yet signed up for the payment plan, you still can sign up for the payment plan. The payment plan was originally scheduled to be 5 installments over the semester, starting in August through December. At this point, since we're already in October, you will have to pay 34% of your bill now, which will be the October payment. And then you will have 2 remaining payments, November and December, to make your to pay off your bill. So it's a little bit different than our original payment plan, but it's still available to you and takes away some of the sting of having to pay in one lump sum. And then the last one we're getting is, I'm having trouble paying my bill. So we have families that are in this situation for a variety of reasons. If you are having trouble paying your bill or don't think you can pay it on time, and by on time, I mean in time to register or in time for the end of the semester, please have your student stop in at the Bursar's office and ask to speak with someone about their bill and their financial concerns. We're happy to talk to families over the phone as well, or in person if you'd like to visit us on campus. But the key is to let us know what's going on. because if we don't know that you're having trouble, we can't help you with that trouble. So please don't be afraid to speak up and contact us and let us know what's going on, and we can try to help. So here's a little more detail. I'm paying in installments. Why did I get a bill? So we just kind of covered that. You're going to receive a bill if your payment plan will not cover the full amount of what was owed for fall 23. And that includes all 5 installments. So in the example of our $5,000 payment plan, if you owed $5,500 and you had a payment plan for $5,000, you're going to get a bill from us. And the first thing you're going to think is, why am I getting a bill? I noticed in my bank account that the installments are coming out every month. Absolutely correct. And we're very happy that is working well. However, we still have another balance above and beyond the payment plan that is due. So we always want you to check the bill, not just the email. The email will alert you and your students to the fact that there is a new bill available for you to view online, but we encourage you to always check that bill just to see what's going on, because the balance will be listed there, the balance which would be in addition to your payment plan. So holds and late fees, we also talked a bit about this, but I just want to expand a little more. The registration holds do prevent registration for spring 2024 classes and access to the grades for fall 23. So this hold is significant. We put it on about a month before registration starts. Excuse me. Our goal is not to penalize your student. It's not to withhold their grades. Our goal is not to prevent them from continuing here at UMass. Clearly, I hope it's clear that we want your student to continue with us. The hold is really almost like a warning, just an alert that says, hey, we still have some financial aspects of your bill to take care of. So we put this hold on about a month before registration starts so that students aren't penalized right away. So the hold does nothing until November 6th. That's when registration for students begin for the spring 2024 semester. Seniors register first. Freshmen who are going into their second semester will register last. So it's kind of a sliding scale. So November 6th is the earliest that a student can register, and only if they're a senior. So we still have some time to figure out this financial aspect of the bill. So I don't want anyone to panic. Holds are removed automatically once a bill has been paid. This includes if you get estimated aid. So if your student has decided, you know what, I did forget to fill out the promissory note, I want the student loan, and they go to the financial aid office, financial aid will put that loan on as estimated aid. That is enough for us to take the hold off. We know the money's coming, and so we're going to take the hold off, and the holds come off every hour. So there's no need to call our office once you've paid the bill. We will take the hold off on the hour. Late fees are charged once per semester. If your student has been assessed a late fee, this is the only one that they will receive for fall 2023. We do not compound late fees. We do not charge you another late fee in November and another one in December if your bill is not paid. It's a one-time fee. So if you do have a late fee on the student account, you don't have to worry about having any additional late fees this semester. So spring 2024 registration, as I mentioned, opens November 6th. Students will get a registration assignment, and that's when the registration opportunity will open for your student. So students typically what they do is they put their courses in what we call the shopping cart. These are the courses that they want. And then when registration opens, they click submit, and then they are registered in the classes that they want and or need for spring semester. So again, we still have time to resolve the holds. So sorry, before registration begins on November 6th. Looking forward to spring 2024 now. Spring 2024 bills will be available after the first week, or after January 1st, during the first week of January. We don't have an exact date, and part of that is because after the holiday, after January 1st, we will come back to the office, and we have a lot of fees to put on the bills. That includes meal plan, housing, and tuition and mandatory fees. So it's always a fluid schedule, but they will be out early January. The reason we point this out is because students and families who are paying with a 529, you don't want to request that before the end of the year. I'm not a tax expert, nor do I play one on TV, but you may want to check with your 529 plan or your tax professional to see if there are tax implications. If you do a draw on your 529 before the end of this calendar/tax year, but the charges are not charged, assessed, or paid until after January 1, there may be tax implications. So just a heads up, bills will be out after January 1. Enjoy your holidays without worrying about the bill. The bills will be coming after the first of the year. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, and then we'll see if we have any more questions, is 1098T tax statements. So if you are paying educational expenses in the tax year of 2023, then you may be eligible for a tax credit when you file your income taxes. So the 1098T, that's actually the name of the form that gets created and sent to the student. It's actually not sent, excuse me. It's created and displayed for the student online. The student has access through their Spire account. They can print it, they can download it, and they can send it to you if they want to. This tax statement does not go to the parent or guardian. It always goes to the student, and it is in the student's name. Again, not a tax professional. However, if you claim your student as a dependent on your tax form, then you may be able to qualify for a tax credit for the educational expenses you paid during this tax year. So the 1098T statements that the university sends out are very specific. It includes payments only for what is referred to as qualifying tuition and fees. That includes tuition and mandatory fees. It does not include health insurance if you pay that. It does not include room or meal plan if you pay either of those. So it will only be tuition and mandatory fees, and any payments that we received for those fees will be on this statement. Payments are considered all types of payments: financial aid, 529, scholarships, international wires, online payments. They will all be on your 1098T statement in box 1. In box 5, and you'll see this once you get your form, in box 5, we also record all the financial aid you received, because what happens is only the payments you have made out of pocket, which does include student loans, are considered. Anything that is a grant, a scholarship, or as I refer to it, free money, is not included in your tax credit. So this is probably a little early, probably a little confusing, but if this is your first introduction, the 1098T tax statements are for informational purposes only, to be used to determine whether or not you, when filing your federal or state taxes for tax year 2023, are eligible for a tax credit. Again, the forms are in the student's name, but the student can print them online through Spire. So it's very straightforward. One last slide, which I did not have on the agenda, but I want to point out, is that it's very important to understand that we have 3 types of security for us to talk or send you information about your student while they're here at UMass. So all of your students are now adults, and as such, they have rights to privacy. Those of you on the call who have ever tried to find out about a doctor's appointment that your child went to will know how frustrating it is that some people consider your student an adult, even if you don't. But the same type of privacy applies to anything related to financial information for your student. So the first level of security, so to speak, is FERPA. This is the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act, and it protects all students' educational records. This also includes financial information, financial aid and payment information, scholarship information. any student who wants their parent to be able to call into the university and speak to either the Bursar's office or the financial aid office over the phone or in person about their bill or financial aid must waive their FERPA privacy. To do that, they indicate the people who should have access. It's not a blanket waiver. It's not like once your student waives their FERPA, anybody can call and ask a question. Your student actually has to indicate who should be able to talk about their financial information. So let's say my son, John Bon Jovi, wants me to have access to his account. John would go in and he'd waive his right to privacy under the FERPA waiver. He'd give me a 4-digit code and tell me what it is. And every time I contacted the Bursar or financial aid office, the people answering the phone are going to ask me for my 4-digit code. That will alert the staff to know that we can talk to you about your student's account. The second aspect of security is if you want a copy of the bill. If you want a copy of the bill, or if you want to be emailed by the Bursar's office, only the Bursar's office, regarding anything related to the bill, including deadlines, due dates, and holds, or if you want to go online and be able to pay the bill through our quick pay system, you must be signed up as an authorized payer. So your student has to go in and set you up as an authorized payer. They will put in your email address and you will receive an email with instructions on how to log in to our billing and payment system with your own logon ID, and you will be able to set your own password. So this gives you a little more access. It will give you the ability to go on and look at the bill, pay the bill, and then the Bursar's office will be communicating with you every time we send out an email communication to your student. And then the third level of access is probably the most generous. Delegated access will allow you to go into the Spire account. So Spire is the student's UMass account. Information that you will have access to within this system includes limited access to housing, billing, financial aid, and hold information. So you'll be able to see if the student has a hold. You'll be able to see if the student has a housing assignment. You'll be able to see the student's account, their financial account, and some information about financial aid. If you wish for this access, your student has to initiate this as well. They would go into their Spire account and they would click on share my information to allow whoever they want to have access to delegated access. You, as the recipient of this, will receive an email with instructions on how to log in. I will caution all three should be set up. FERPA, so in case you need to give a call to either of our offices, authorized payers so that you can go online and make online payments and receive email information from the Bursar's office, and delegated access so that if you want to go in and check out your students' holds or see how financial aid is proceeding, you can do that. To set you up with all three of these access, your student, it'll probably take them maybe 5 minutes tops. So this is not a huge lift. It's not a heavy lift for your student, but it does make your navigation of the financial aspects of an education at UMass much more streamlined and easy to manage. Okay, so I left time for any questions. Are there any questions that anyone has? I know I saw a couple questions popping up, and Barb, thank you so much for answering them. Was there any, Barb, that you think we might need to talk about?
I don't think so. I think you covered most of them, Erin, regarding
Okay.
the payment plan. One of them was whether if what if I'm under budgeted or over budgeted, and I just mentioned that they can go in and adjust their remaining balance by either the amount they're over or under.
Mhm.
But I think you've covered mostly everything.
Okay. I'll just give it another minute just to see if there's any
Yeah.
additional questions.
In Excess Express, that came up a couple of times. Just wanting to know how to do that, and I just said students can do that from their student center. And
Mhm.
they just do it once and they'll get notified anytime there's a credit applied to the student's account. So,
Yep. So, a lot of this is managed by your student. There's really nothing for parents to do other than to guide their students to do the work. But what I can do is I can actually log into Spire and show you just how straightforward it is, so that you will know.
okay, so Erin, there is a question, and I don't know the answer to this.
Okay.
If you get a scholarship or a loan, what is the latest date you can apply to the current semester?
So that
Would that be like before? I mean,
so it would be the end of this academic year. You can get a loan for the full year at the end of the academic year. And so if you have a scholarship for the full year, you do that at the end of the academic year as well. So
okay.
that would be May. The end of the academic year is May. I can't remember the exact date, but let's just say May 10th. It's whatever date
I think it
this.
is May 10th or 15th, one of
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Hmm. So, if you will all bear with me one more moment. This seemed helpful in one of the other things that we did. One of the other um sessions we did. I just want to show you what your student would see in Spire. So I'm currently logged in as a student. Um, just disregard that for a minute. This is what your student will see. It's very tile based. So it should be very easy to navigate. That's our goal anyway. A lot of what they need to do, they will find under the finances tile. So if you look at the finances, or sorry, if your student clicks on the finances tile, on the left-hand side is all that they will need to do to affect their bill. They can pay their bill. They can add an authorized payer. So this is how easy it is and how quick it is for them to add you as an authorized payer on the account. We talked about 1098Ts, 6. 6 levels down, you'll see view and consent to 1098T. So this is the tax statement that your student can pull up for you when tax season rolls around. Excess Express, this is also what we talked about this evening a little bit. Excess Express is where your student would sign up for direct deposit of any refund. And the first thing they'll do, I don't think I'm signed up, so I think I can walk you through this. First thing they'll do is they will agree to the terms and conditions, which says that the student will be notified of all student refunds. Student will be responsible if, for instance, we refund them and then something happens where they cancel their financial aid award and now they owe the money back to the university. So it's fairly straightforward terms and conditions. They would agree to that. And then they will be putting in bank information. So this has to be a US account, checking or savings. They would be asked for the bank routing number, account number. They would confirm their account number, and then they're done. So it's fairly simple. Again, if you want this money to go back to you, you can talk with your student, have this very important conversation, and they can put in your bank account information. And then anytime a student has an overpayment on their tuition bill and we issue them a refund, it will go to this bank account. This is not where their paychecks go if they work on campus. This is not anything like that. The only thing that goes into this bank account is any refund from a student overpayment. And in case anyone has any questions, we cannot go into your bank account and take the money back. So if there was a change to the account, like I said, if financial aid was canceled, what we would end up doing is sending your student a bill saying now they have an outstanding balance. So we do not have access to your bank account. It's a deposit only relationship. We cannot take money out of your account. So sorry. Are there any other questions, Barb, that might be helpful to answer? Or you're probably
There's one
answering
I
them.
don't understand, and I was just going to tell the person, the question is, when the school offered extra scholarship response get in? I don't know. I don't understand the question, so maybe they can elaborate more. Where is the FERPA on this?
Okay,
Maybe
so that's what
the
I was just about to
navigation.
show you.
the navigation for FERPA.
Perfect. So it's under this tile right here, profile. So under your student's profile is 4 items. So one is personal information, access and privacy is where we want to go, but there's also some other information under here. Access and privacy, share my information is delegated access that we talked about. So that will allow a parent into Spire and be able to log in. And then this is the FERPA privacy waiver. So they're both, sorry, they're both listed relatively quickly on the screen. So you go to their personal, students will go to their personal information, access and privacy, and it's the first 2 items here. So that's where they would set you up for the FERPA privacy waiver, so that if you call the university, we can talk to you. They'll give you a 4-digit code. Let me see if you can see it down here. Yeah. So right now they would put your first name, last name, and they would just assign you a code. You can tell them what code you want if there's a code that you have that means something to you. And then they will indicate whether they want you to talk about Bursar and financial aid or housing assignments information, or both. And the student can revoke this at any time. Just so you're aware, this is all controlled by the student because this is the student's information that they're giving access to.
Somebody asked when the 1098Ts would be available, and I said normally sometime in January.
Yep. So the federal government says we have to send them out by the end of January, by January 31st. They're typically sent by January, probably 10th. You'll probably have them available to you right around the time that we do the spring bills. It's a very busy first week of January for Barb and her team in our office, because they are not only producing the spring bills, but also the 1098T statements. So it should be early January that they are available, and we will alert students once they're available to view online. And again, I think I just showed you, but I'm going to show you one more time. Your student would go under finances and then view consent 1098T is right there. So they can click on it and then be able to bring it up. I would click on it, but I'm actually a former student and I believe my social security number might be on it. So I couldn't black it out. But all your student needs to do is click on this link right here, view consent 1098T, and they will be able to download or print the form for you. I'll see. Enrollment for winter classes. So that's another question. Enrollment for winter has already begun. That started on October 11th. So students are able to enroll for winter at this time, provided that they do not have a hold on their account. A registration hold will stop enrollment for winter as well. So if your student is looking to register for a winter class, you're going to want to make sure that you take care of any outstanding balance from the fall prior to them registering. I'll wait another minute or 2 to see if we have other questions. For overpayments, can refunds be sent back to the 529? No. The reason is your 529 account is an investment account. And so we are not able to invest into that account. It's not like it's a savings account where we can deposit money. Because it's an investment account, you can't just make deposits to that account. So unfortunately, there is no way to refund a 529 payment back to the 529 provider. We will refund the student or the parent if the parent has put their bank account information in to Access Express. And you're going to want to speak with your 529 plan to determine what to do with that overpayment. Some will advise you to use it for the next semester, so it is going toward educational expenses. Most will not let you redeposit the funds once they're taken out. So I see no other open questions. So Jonathan, I think that might be it.
All right. Well, families, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And Aaron, thank you for agreeing to be here as a resource to the family members, and for continuing to host these. If you still have questions for Erin's office, you can email them. The email address has been shared numerous times, but in case you didn't get that, Erin, do you want to share what it is?
Yes. So the email address is, I can actually put it in the chat, I think. Is that correct?
Actually, yes, you can. You should be able to do that. Yes.
Okay.
So
you
Erin,
can
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. You can contact us at any time. The email address is listed. I will also give you our office phone number. And we are located in room 215 of the Whitmore building. So if your student is on campus, if you're on campus visiting, please stop by. We're happy to help you as well.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much for being here this evening. Tomorrow we are hosting another webinar, and so we hope that you will attend. We are meeting with the student success offices and really talking about course registration. And so we have that coming up on Tuesday, and on Wednesday we are talking about off-campus housing. And so both of those are happening over lunch at noon Eastern time. And so I hope that you'll join us. And again, thank you so much for attending, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Al.
Good night.